White clouds have sort of sparked my imagination from time to time, and there are times when I like to look up at white clouds and maybe meditate to them and see how they move through the sky very slowly. It's sort of like looking at the earth moving, even though I'm stationary at a certain point on earth, just staring up at the clouds. I often wonder what it's like being up there. I imagine it's very cold being up in the clouds, so I wouldn't be able to be in a t-shirt or shorts in the summer, like in the summertime. When I do often look up at white clouds. I like white clouds because it's sort of like a purity to me, and I often wonder how they are able to float. I know they're moisture, but they seem to float and never fall to earth unless many of them or a whole bunch of them congregate together and form a gray cloud, and then the moisture falls as rain. But that often doesn't happen on a lot of days when it's blue skies and sunshine, so the white clouds just sort of float by, and I like looking at them. From time to time, I've tried to make drawings of white clouds, which is a lot of fun, and I lightly do it with a pencil and a pad of white art pad of paper, where I just draw some of the clouds just to design the lines, the folds and the many folds in the side of a cloud. And I think also that many people don't realize that it's often how easy it is to meditate. When you're looking up at a white cloud, your mind, all your thoughts just come to a halt, and you just sort of just float away into space looking at them. I've never really looked up too much scientific information on clouds. I probably should, and so I'd get more understanding of how they work and what the scientific basis of them is. But so far I have not done that. I just look at them artistically and meditatively, and I continue to do so at least once a week. I try doing it, and it's a very meditative process, and I come away from it very calm and very relaxed when I do it. Now, I think many people often view meditation as a complicated process where they have to get books on it or watch videos on it. It's actually a very simplistic process, and the simpler and easier it is, the easier it is to do. And that's why I think looking up at white clouds is very easy to do, and it's a very meditative process anybody can get involved with and do and be successful in meditating for themselves, and then get to at least their minds would relax in doing this process. You come away, you can come away in a psychological relaxed state. I can't say if you're all tired and everything, physically tired, that it's going to relax you in that manner, because usually when you're that type of tired, you tend to go to sleep. Now, I often imagine myself floating on somebody's clouds and what it'd be like floating on these clouds. When I was a child, I often wondered what it would be like to float through one of these clouds, what it's like in the middle of one of these clouds. And these days, it's very easy to find that out if you take a flight, from one coast to the other, or from one state to the other. Planes often go up at about 35,000 feet, and they often go through clouds, so you can see what it's like. going through going through these white clouds. It's often nice on a plane too. I've often liked getting a window seat on a plane. That way I could look down at the clouds. It's always been interesting to me. I don't know how it is for other people, but for me it was always pleasant to look down at clouds and see them. I've often liked doing that when I'm on a plane. I've also often liked typically lying on lawns, especially in a park or something, or any sort of state park, or even in a regular city park, and look up at a cloud, or lay on a bench and look up at clouds and just let my mind wander away. I think it's an enjoyable activity, and maybe many of you can benefit from it. I don't know, as I have. Anyway, this is Dean Talks, and I'm your host in this video of discussing a Cloud Talk video. Thanks for watching, and this is all I have to say for this video.